Hi ladies and gents, please excuse all the background noise. There's apparently a lot of quarry work going on. I am out a road cut in Excavating County, and one of many where there are some nice outcrops of some of the late Devonian fossils. In this case, the top of the outcrop is going to be B-craft. B-craft probably somewhere around 380 million years. And below that, we might see towards the far end of the outcrop some New Scotland. The New Scotland formation is known for, among other things, India, those round sponges that usually are not preserved well in any other place. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look around, starting at the top of the outcrop, working my way down, and see if there are any interesting fossils to show you. Oh, and of course, if you like fossil collecting films, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This helps my channel, it helps it get more views on YouTube, and makes it more popular. More people get to see the fossils. So if you would, please go ahead and do that. And now we are ready to begin looking at the B-craft fossils of Excavating County. So, as with any place that you collect fossils, always make sure that you have permission to be there. There are many road cuts that people are just not allowed to go to. State highways, federal roads, and many municipal ones as well. In this particular case, I've spoken with one of the property owners. Be safe and always make sure you have permission to be where you are. So here's a rock that called out to me. I just picked it up because it has lots of little crinoid bits in it. They seem to be fairly abundant here, just like that rock. So I picked it up. So over here on the ground is a little crinoid holdfast. Now with crinoids, some of them had stem-like holdfast where they kind of grip to the ground. Other ones had these like suction cup type features, and this is what we find at the end of the early Devonian in the B-craft. Kind of like a suction cup, except made out of the bone, the calcium carbonate part of the crinoid's body that would stick to the seafloor. So this would actually be facing down. I don't see any crinoid. Oh, I do see something else. So we have the holdfast down here. This is what it looks like from the bottom, and we have another one over here from the top. So this rock would have been this way on the seafloor. We're looking at the underside of the holdfast. That was the anchor holding up a crinoid. The rest of the crinoid is probably long gone. So the fossils here appear to be quite abundant. These rocks are just full of all kinds of little fossils. But I want to point out that super flat rock right over there. That flat rock is part of the very smooth surface at the top of this outcrop. And what that is the top of the rock that was exposed during the last ice age. During the ice age, the rocks at the surface had these sort of flat grooves carved into them by the glaciers passing over them. So we got this very flat rock with the grooves where the glaciers passed over them. That would be towards the top of this outcrop. I hope this shows up well on camera. This is what we're looking for B-craft. B-craft is just full of fossils. we can see all different kinds of brachiopods. It's actually a really nice one. This actually might make a good classroom piece. So, really nice fossils from the Beecraft. This is kind of what you want to find, a nice plate showing a lot of different varieties. Yeah, it should clean up well. Oh my God, look what I got here. I wish I did this on camera. Fortunately, I turned this over off camera just to really see what was underneath it. And this rock has a giant Favosites. Here's my hand for scale. A Favosites is a coral. So we have a beautiful coral colony. It's mostly calcite, sparkles in the sun. I hope we can pick that up on the camera, kind of sparkling. Don't know if that's going to show up. But you can see all the tiny little individual polyps of this coral. So this is a coral colony, Favosites, common in the Devonian, probably some other early time periods as well. And here it is, a really beautiful example. It's also kind of cracked around here. Looks like it might pop out. So beautiful coral. Very happy to find that. And really nice. You know something? This piece right here, it's really display quality. This piece makes the whole stop worth it. Just this alone. So really nice find. Might pop out. Might just maybe have display it like that. Would make a really good classroom piece, that's for sure. But wow, this is awesome. Very excited to have found this piece. Favosites, a coral. Ooh. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We have some nice macropleura. Macropleura is just a brachiopod that's very big. That's what macro comes from. And pleura, basically the ends of brachiopod. So in this rock, whole bunch of really nice macropleura. That one's going on. Here in the Beecraft, we're seeing a lot of crinoid stems. Bits and pieces of crinoid in this rock. I wonder if that whole thing will separate. It's in part of this huge boulder. I don't know, I'll keep looking around first. But I might just come back to it and pull up all the, see if that crinoid layer will come up. Okay, I think I should be in the frame. Let's see how easy or not easy this piece will come off. So this is what I would call easy enough. Some interesting stuff on the reverse as well. I'm going to crop it down a little as well. Once again, excuse all that background noise. We are near a quarry. Nothing I can do about that. Now, I normally don't do a lot of field cropping, plus it's just a big piece like this, where it's nothing really high value on it. So I'm going to break it down. You see what looks like a very weathered cephalopod on this side. Just a little bit of one. It's starting to get a little bit overcast. We're getting a droplet here and there. I'm hoping it doesn't rain, or at least nothing other than a few passing small showers, hopefully. Alright, so it's starting to rain a little bit more, so I might have to put the cameras away for a while. But I just wanted to show you something here. Here, there's a trilobite and a rock here. It's like maybe trilobite head maybe over here. Rocky pod, I'm not sure. Nice cephalopod here. And another piece of a trilobite here. So this rock is very promising. Has lots of stuff. Unfortunately, it's one of the heavier rocks again. I seem to find those. But I'm going to try and get this one home too. I also have to be mindful of what I'm doing. Every once in a while I turn over a rock and either get a bee's nest or a snake. Now today, this weather, I don't think you're going to see bees coming out. But if I disturb a snake, I just have to be careful of that. Usually they warn you when you get too close. Alright, this little pocket, that one rock that I showed you, looks pretty good. I'm going to see if I can get that one back. I might put the cameras away for a little while because I don't want to get them wet. And as I was heading back, just found this one with a nice big gastropod. So I'm going to try and get both of these rocks back. Ah, and here we go. Looks like one of those India sponges. Didn't expect to find it up this high, but we'll take it. So I did manage to get that big monster-sized boulder into the van. So hopefully, when I break that up, there'll be good stuff in it. The kind of stuff I probably would have broken if it wasn't, if I could just relax and do it and not be in pouring rain. So still at the Skahari site, it rained pretty heavily. I had to stop filming because they didn't want to damage the cameras. And I went around and collected some stuff, but well, actually the rain is actually very good because it tends to highlight the fossils. They actually show up differently in the rain, and I'll show you. So the rain tends to bring out the difference in color. You see the white fossils and black rock. Before it was all pretty much gray. But the rain is actually helping the fossils to stand out more. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect a couple of boulders and bring them home to work on, because taking them apart here just going to get soaked and it's not a whole lot of fun. But while I am here, what I want to show you is, first of all, we have the contact point. Here is the beecraft, and there's sort of a line cutting through the formation. Everything above the line is the beecraft formation, where we've been finding lots of fossil. I'm now down lower in the outcrop, much closer to the lower area, and here we're finding the New Scotland, the one that's supposed to have a lot of India sponges. Well, for now, like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take home one or two promising boulders, and I'll show you. I'll take those apart for everybody at home when it's not raining. It's supposed to stop by now, so if it does stop, we might get a little bit more collecting in, and if we do, you'll instantly see me going back to collecting. Okay, so the rain has stopped, at least to the point where it's camera safe, at least I think so. So what I've done is I brought out El Kabong, the big hammer, and I'm going to break up a couple of these big rocks that are full of fossils, because I already took home some big ones to work at home, but now that the weather is a little better, I want to go ahead and break up some that look like they have potential here, including this one over here. Looks like it has a crinoid holdfast, or possibly even a shell on it. All kinds of other shell material, but not a rock I want to take home. So I am going to break this one up. What is that? No, nothing too. Shadows made it look interesting, but nothing too interesting. Here's an example of one of those beehives. Apparently somebody liked this rock. They turned it over and got a very, or maybe a wasp nest in this case, but got a very unpleasant surprise. Chances are there's a good fossil on there, but you really don't like the angry bees, or angry wasps in this case. All right, I'm gonna get to work on this rock. All right, piece came right off of it. I need to take the jacket off to get good swings in. Alright, it's breaking up pretty well. I'm going to take a look, see if anything interesting has surfaced before I go further. Full of lots of little fossils. Crinoid bits. Don't see anything articulated. And lots of brachiopods. Typical for the bee craft. All right, broke up well. Let's take a look. Any goodies in there? This piece with the shell material is now small enough. I'm not going to break it up any smaller. I'm going to take it home. Take home the brachiopod. Maybe some more smaller pieces with all these multiple shells. Like that one. So I broke this one up a little more. If there's anything exciting inside. Some brachiopods. Not too much. So I turned up one more big rock here. One with, all kinds of bits and pieces of fossil showing. Some layering showing. Just like at the other sites, I'm going to try the Malcolm Middle method and see if anything interesting pops out. So just like hoped, it kind of split, not in half, but a third. Lots of brachiopods. That's about it. I'll leave it out here because I don't need another plate full of brachiopods, but I'm sure somebody might come by and pick that one up. I'm going to keep trying. Looks like about another third of this is going to break off. I keep working the crack. So I'm going to try, keep going, see if we can get some more of this out. And there we go. Nice split. Broke into a few pieces. Some nice fossils, some nice brachiopods. think you'll probably enjoy that piece. I see, if I can get this middle section out that's full of some larger brachiopods, I think I'm going to try for that. See, it can't hurt to try. Ouch, it can hurt to try. And as the rock is getting smaller, it should be less of a burden to take the part that I like. There's always the risk it'll break the part that I like. In this case, it's not a very high quality fossil, so I can live with that kind of risk. Alright, I think I got a little cephalopod here. So I'm going to collect this. And it looks like I have a crack going through here, so I might just take a little bit more off. Found another piece I like, another nice brachiopod. Alright, so I have this little section of brachiopods freshly out, and I'm going to take that home. There's lots of other brachiopods up there. Somebody else might like that, so it'll be there for them. So here are the parts that I'm keeping. This one with lots of freshly excavated brachiopods, and this other one with a lot of freshly excavated brachiopods from the core of that rock. The rest is kind of similar to this, really not too exciting, but at least it's some. So today's adventure was just a little roadside outcrop where we managed to find some early Devonian, the end of the late Devonian fossils, Beecraft and New Scotland, much like we find in the quarries on the larger trips. This was just a stop at the road cut though, not a large group trip. I'm hoping to have another large group trip soon, but hopefully this will give you something to look at until we have another one of those trips. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. So let's take a look at some of the rocks I brought home. Here is a really nice one just because there's a lot of different things on it. Looks like we have a cephalopod here and a lot of crinoid. I'm wondering if I can get some of this up or possibly even dissolve it with acid and make all these crinoids, which basically this rock is crawling with crinoids. Make some of these crinoids show up better. A very nice rock here. More crinoids. I think a cephalopod. Could be a gastropod. I'm thinking cephalopod. And brachiopods. So here's another one of the large blocks that I brought home. This one has also a variety of different life. We have, I think that's a cephalopod. Could be a gastropod, definitely a mollusk. But thinking that's a cephalopod. We have some bryozoan, a Leptania brachiopod, trilobite. Wonder how much more of that trilobite is in there. That'd be interesting to find out. Looks like part of another trilobite sticking out down there. And bivalve maybe? Either bivalve or brachiopod. Oh, and something else here, maybe a horn coral. So this rock is full of stuff like that one. That's probably why I managed to scoop this giant boulder into the van. Here's another one that I brought home just because it is so full of crinoids. All kinds of crinoid bits and pieces. Mentioned before that I might try and use acid to try and work them out. That might be a good idea. And here we have the other massive boulder that I brought home. Brachiopods and other things showing up. Just gonna flip it. Look at all the little isopods running away. Little arthropods they are. I don't see anything really particular on this. This might have just been a rock for the yard. Here are some of the other rocks that I brought home. This one has, I think, a big bivalve. And then other brachiopods. And this, I think, would be the matching half to that one. We have this rock with a sponge. Now the sponge has kind of been cut in half just by the way that the rock broke. But I recognize this circular center with a magnifying glass. I would be able to see spicules. This is a cross section of one of those Hindia sponges. And here we see another crinoid. This is actually a pretty good example. We have something going on here, stalk or something of the crinoid. We have parts of a very large one over here. So a rock that, this is one I can probably try to drill out and drill around the crinoids and see how much is actually in here. Could be an interesting rock. Here we have what's left of one of the crinoid holdfasts on this little rock. It's basically the anchor that the crinoid, this particular type of crinoid, would use to hold to the seafloor or to other rocks or shells or whatever it could grasp onto, almost like a suction cup. Some crinoids had finger-like extensions. Some of the holdfasts were cup-like, like this one. Here's the matching half to that. Now, you might notice that there seems to be a lot of little triangles in it. Crinoids, discs, tend to be 5-sided. But in this case, because the holdfast is such a dense material being buried for long amounts of time with pressure, ended up turning into this crystallized form. So you actually have the calcium inside the crinoid holdfasts recrystallizing, making these little triangles. Here we have something big that I found, and I'm not sure what it is. It's either going to be a bivalve, possibly a gastropod, but I would say it's definitely going to be a mollusk. Maybe you can let me know. Maybe what do you think this is? I would say it's definitely a mollusk, although it's not outside of the realm of possibility that it's a bivalve. But I'm really uncertain what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. And what do we have here? My favorite, or one of my favorites from the New Scotland Formation, a nice Hindia sponge. One of the few places where the limestone is so fine that the structure of the sponge remains largely intact. Some crinoid stuff on here as well, but very nice little Hindia. I think I might have shown you this already before. Oh, here we have a really nice bivalve. They are fairly fragile, so this one's actually preserved pretty well. And I'm also noticing on the same rock, we have about 2/3, maybe 2/3, of what I think is a Platycerus. Platycerus is a gastropod that fed exclusively on crinoid waste, which makes sense because we're finding so much of the crinoid material in this Beecraft rock. And this may be my favorite piece from this trip, this really nice, large, and cross-sectioned colony of Favosites coral. It's a really nice piece, a good piece to show my students, and just a really nice fossil in general. Yep, I think this is my favorite from this trip. So, nice road cut, great fossils. We got to see some of the Beecraft, the end of the lower Devonian, which is very fossiliferous, and made some good finds. Have some stuff that'll look good in my classroom, some stuff that I just really like. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm going to ask if you like this, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And subscribe. And I'll keep making more of these fossil hunting videos. Thank you so much, and happy fossil hunting and collecting.